Hello everyone, welcome back. So moving on towards the next part of your relining and rebasing. Now in this video we are going to talk about like various procedures that are your clinical and the laboratory procedures of relining and rebasing. So watch the video till the end because in the end of this video I am attaching the clinical pictures of this relining and rebasing, like the complete laboratory and the clinical procedures in combination, so that you'll get a complete idea of how this relining and rebasing is done from complete dentures. So this clinical procedures, it is divided into again two, that is indirect and direct. Direct method, it is also known as a chair side technique. So about this we have already seen in the last video. Now starting with the indirect method. Now this indirect method is divided again into two, that is static and functional. So functional, as the name says, in this you ask the patient to do some functional movements like swallowing, smiling, speaking. Whereas in static you don't ask the patient to do such functional movement. Now this static, it is all again divided into two, that is open mouth technique and closed mouth technique. So starting with the first one, that is the open mouth technique from static type of indirect method. So Carl Boucher, he described this technique, and it is the only technique that explains a method for relining for both mandibular and maxillary denture at the same time. Whereas in the other, that is your closed mouth technique, the relining and rebasing of mandibular and maxillary dentures, they are done separately. Whereas in this open mouth, it is done at the same time. Now over here, the dentures, they are used as the special trays for making the final impression. Now as this is a relining and rebasing, so now the patient, they already have their denture. So now this denture is used as your custom tray. Now in the normal conventional one, you first take the primary impression and then you make a custom tray out of that primary cast. So over here now you don't do that step. So over here your custom tray is your denture itself. So now your dentures, they are used as a special tray. Now on that, what you're doing is tissue stops, they are prepared in the denture using a low fusing compound to maintain the vertical dimension, occlusal plane, and the aesthetic position of the anterior teeth. And because of that, you create some tissue stops. Now the tissue surface and the borders, they are trimmed by 1 mm. So now you again have to take the final impression, you again have to do the border molding. So because of that, what you do is you reduce the denture surfaces and borders by 1 mm with the help of burr. Now you start with your border molding. So the borders, they are molded with the low fusing green stick compound as you do for the conventional one. So over here, this is your denture which is acting as a custom tray. So then you start with your border molding, and after that you take the final impression as you do for your conventional only. So in this, the final impression, it is made again with the zinc oxide eugenol, same as your conventional. Then in this, the impression of the maxillary denture is made, and then you're taking the impression of the mandibular one. And because of that, you're taking the like relining and rebasing procedure, they are done at the same time in this open mouth technique. And in this, now a new centric relation record is made using the interocclusal check method. Now there are various interocclusal check methods, so this is one of it. Now in this, what you do is a piece of wax, it is placed on the maxillary teeth, and in this the patient, they are then asked to close in the centric relation. Now you know how to take the centric relation, in which you guide the patient to close in centric relation. So in this also you do the same, that you are guiding the patient to close in the centric relation, and after that you're going to remove this wax and you're going to place it in the water for cooling. So this is how you do the interocclusal. So this is one of the interocclusal check method by which you're taking a new centric relation. So now in this open mouth technique, you're taking a new centric relation. Now what are the advantages of this technique? So in this, the selective impression is made without any occlusal interferences. Then the operator, they need not worry about making the jaw relation while making the impression, as you make a separate record of the centric relation, and the centric relation record is verifiable because you're taking a new one. So these are the advantages of this open mouth technique. Now what are the disadvantages? So in this, the chances of increase in the vertical dimension, even though tissue stops are provided, are high. Then there is high possibility of the denture moving forward. Then there is demanding and laborious technique. So this one, it is a demanding and laborious technique, and it requires more clinical and laboratory time. So these are the disadvantage of the open mouth technique. So now we have seen about the open mouth technique. Now moving towards the next, that is the closed mouth technique from static. Now in this, the maxillary and the mandibular relining and rebasing, it is done separately, and we have seen in the open that it is done at the same time. Now in this closed mouth, so there are various techniques in this. So this closed mouth technique, that divided into four, that is technique A, technique B, technique C, and technique D. Starting with the first one, that is technique A. Now this technique A, it is a two-step technique wherein what you do is you take a centric relation as we take in the open mouth technique with the help of the interocclusal record with the help of a wax or a compound, and the next step is you take the impression as you do for the like open mouth. So in this, what you do, you're going to trim the denture by 2 mm. So you have to see that you're trimming the denture by 2 mm except the posterior palatal seal area. So over here, the denture, it should be relieved by 1 to 2 mm near the large undercuts, and the denture, it should be reduced by 2 mm in the borders except the posterior palatal seal area. So this is how you do. So first is you're trimming the denture in this, and then what you can do is you can make a palatal portion which is cutted to visualize the tissue contact while relining the borders. Now this is optional. So what you can do is now you can make this palatal hole. Then you do the same thing as you do for the open mouth, that is border molding, and you take the impression with the help of a zinc oxide eugenol impression paste. And then what you do is now as you have made this palatal hole, so for this palatal hole what you can do is you can use the plaster impression. Now this is an optional thing, so this is not compulsory like in this technique A. So you have to remember that this is a two-step technique in which you are taking the centric relation. Now in technique B, C and D, you don't take the centric relation. You're taking, so you're not taking a new centric relation, but now the dentures, they are already in centric relation. So you are considering that centric relation only in B, C and D. Whereas in A, so the only difference in A, B, C and D is in A you take a new centric relation. Now what are the advantages and disadvantages of this technique A? So the technique A, the palatal opening, it allows better sitting of the denture. Then a pre-made interocclusal record, it helps to position the denture properly, and it also helps in orienting the denture in the articulator, and because of this, this technique A, it is more reliable. Now what are the disadvantages? So it cannot be used to reline or rebase the denture simultaneously, and the wax interocclusal record, they are not very accurate as you're doing a new centric relation. So now this interocclusal record, it is not that accurate. So these are the disadvantage of the technique A. Now moving on towards the next, that is the technique B. Now in this, no new centric relation record is made. Now this is the difference between A and B. In B, C and D, you don't take a new centric relation, whereas in A, you take a new centric relation. So in this, there is no need of new centric relation. Then again, you're going to do the same thing as you do for the like technique A, that you're going to trim the denture except the posterior palatal seal area by 2 mm. Now in this, the border molding is done using the green stick, and then the impression wax, that is a lower wax, is the material for choice in this technique B for the final impression. So the impression, it is made in two stages. So over here now in this diagram you can see there is this stage 1, that is the step 1 and step 2. So when you're doing the final impression thing, so you're taking that impression in two steps. So the first step is when you take the impression of the areas except the labial flange and the alveolar crest between the canine. So this is the step 1, and then you take the impression of this front area, that is your labial flange and the alveolar crest between the canine. So over here you're taking the impression in this two stages, and this palatal hole again is an optional thing in this technique B also. And if you're making this palatal hole, then you have to cover that palatal hole with the help of this plaster impression. Now what are the advantages of this technique? So in this, it reduces the possibility of the extreme forward movement of the maxillary denture, as this was a disadvantage of your technique A. So this is a advantage in this technique B, because now over here the impression you're taking is in two steps. Now what are the disadvantages? So the wax impression material, they are very difficult to work with and it can distort easily. Now in this, now we have seen the impression material that we are using is a lower wax. Now this lower wax is very difficult to work with, and this wax, it distorts very easily. So this is a disadvantage of it. Now if the existing centric relation is wrong, then the impression becomes inaccurate. Now in this technique B, C and D, you don't take a new centric relation, but now what if your centric relation was wrong in your like the conventional denture only? So because of that, if your centric relation is only wrong, then your impression, it becomes inaccurate. So this is the disadvantage for the technique B. Now moving on towards the next, that is the technique C. Now over here what you do is again you don't take a new centric relation. Then the denture, it is prepared as the technique A. Now in this, the labial and the palatal flanges, they are perforated to decrease the pressure inside the denture during the impression making. So now what is the difference between this technique C from this technique B and A? Now again you do the trimming of your denture except the posterior palatal seal area. And what you do in this, now you can see over here, you're perforating your denture. So you're perforating the flanges, that is your labial and the palatal flanges. Why? Because you want to decrease the pressure inside the denture when you're taking the impression. So in this again, now the border molding is done as same of your technique A and B. So again the border molding is done. This palatal hole is optional thing again in this technique C. And if you are making this palatal hole, then you are going to cover it with the plaster impression for that hole. So this is the difference between the technique C, that is you're perforating the flanges, that is your palatal and the labial flanges in this technique C. Now what are the advantages and disadvantages? So advantages, now this like technique C, it is a combination of both, that is your technique A and B. So because of that, the advantages, it will be same as your as of your A and B, and your disadvantages is also going to be same as your A and B. So this is about the technique C. So moving on towards the last technique, that is the technique D of your closed mouth technique. Now again in this you do the same thing, that you're trimming the denture except the posterior palatal seal area. Then you make a palatal hole, which is an optional thing. The only difference lies in your impression making. So over here what you do is adhesive tape, it is attached over the buccal and the labial surface of the both dentures, which is 2 mm above the denture border. So now over here, this is your pink thing is your denture. So what you do is you attach this adhesive tape 2 mm above this denture, and then you take the impression with the help of this zinc oxide eugenol impression paste. And then what you do is then you make a groove in this impression, and then you fill this groove with the help of a impression wax border molding, which is a molten wax. So in this what happens is the wax at the edge of the denture, it is used to record the sulcus. So this wax, it is helping the denture to record that sulcus. So now this technique, it has the advantage of your technique A, and the disadvantage is the existing centric relation, it may cause some pressure points and the faulty impression. Now in technique D, C and B, we have seen that we are not taking a new centric relation. So in this, the disadvantage is the existing centric relation, it can cause pressure point and faulty impression. So this is all about the technique D. The difference is you attach this adhesive tape, you make a groove, and then you fill this groove with the impression wax border molding, and this records your sulcus. So this records, so the denture, it is recorded at the sulcus with the help of this wax. So this is the difference of your technique D. That was all about the static method. Now moving on towards the functional method. Now this is a simple, practical and a popular method. So in this, the impression material that you're using are the tissue conditioner. Now in this, the area of the denture which are not to be contacted with the help of the resins, they are painted with a lubricant. Now the powder and the liquid of the soft liner, they are mixed according to the manufacturer's instruction, and they are allowed to polymerize in the mixing cup. Now when you do the conventional denture, now you know your resin, so it is a heat cure resin that you're using. So when you're doing the flasking, now you know that your resin, they have various stages. Now you do the flasking at the time when you see the strings in your resin, so like they have different stages. So in this also, the powder and the liquid, they are mixed and they are allowed to polymerize. Now on the creamy and the fluid stage, they are poured on the tissue surface. So when your resin, that is your, when your soft liner, they are in the creamy and the fluid state, so what you're doing is you're going to pour it on this tissue surface, that is your impression surface. Then when the material, it stops flowing, so that time you're going to insert it in the patient's mouth. Now in this, the patient, they're instructed to close in the centric, maintaining the vertical dimension, and after that the active and the passive method of the border molding is performed. Now in this, now you can see the difference. So in this, now you're not using the green stick and like the ZOA. So in this, you're using the resin, as we have seen in the direct method, that is your chair side method, that you're using the soft liner or your tissue conditioners. Now in this, the patient, they're also instructed to perform the functional movement like swallowing, smiling, speaking, until the impression, it reaches a more stable rubber like stage. Now you can see over here also, So there are like various stages. Over here there was a fluid stage, and then there is like a stiff stage, and then it finally becomes a stable rubber like stage. So after that, so after you're removing it, so excess tissue conditioner it is removed, and the voids they are corrected with the help, so with the help of a new material. Now over here you can see, so whatever the extra material was, it is cut off, and then you're going to recall the patient, and you're going to keep that patient on maintenance. So when the patient that returns after 3 to 5 days, the under extension, denuded areas and the pressure spot, they are corrected by trimming or adding the new material. So what you have done over here, so like you have added the resin, and then you have done the impression thing, and then you're going to send the patient. And after that, what you do is you are going to recall the patient after 3 to 5 days, and then you're going to check your denture again. So you're going to see if there is any under extension, denuded areas or pressure spots, so you're going to correct it. And then the material it is changed periodically till the tissue it returns to a state of health, and then the patient they are scheduled for the final impression. And then a ZO impression paste is made, and then like this is how you do this functional method. So first in this functional method, what you're doing is you're taking the impression with the help of resins, and then you're going to do the complete procedure, and then you're going to send the patient. And after 3 to 5 days, you're again going to call the patient, and then you're going to check the denture if there are any problems in the denture. Then again you're going to like correct it, again you're going to send the patient, again you're going to call the patient, and you're going to do this until and unless your tissue it returns in the state of health. And finally you do the ZOE impression thing lastly, and this is how your functional method goes. So this was all about the static and the functional method of your clinical procedure. So this is all about the clinical procedure. So in the last video we have seen about the direct method, and in this we have seen about the indirect methods. That was all about the clinical procedures. Now moving on towards the laboratory procedures. Now we have done everything which is required clinically. Now you have to make a denture in the lab. So these are your various laboratory procedures, that is the articulator method, jig method or the flask method. So flask method is usually the same as we do in the conventional method. Starting with the first, that is the articulator method. Now in this, now you have taken your final impression in the clinical procedures. Now after that final impression, you pour a master cast. So in this, a master cast is poured, and the cast it is not separated from the impression. Now what we do in the conventional denture, we separate the cast from the impression, but now in this you are not going to separate the cast from the impression. Now why were you separating it? Because now you want to take the jaw relation, but now over here this is a relining and rebasing. Now you're not taking the jaw relation again, so because of that you're not going to separate the cast from the impression. Now the first thing that you do in this articulator is, now a layer of plaster is arranged in the platform fashion on the lower member of the articulator. So over here now you have to see that the first thing that you do in this articulator is you are going to prepare this platform on the lower member of your articulator with the help of a plaster. Now as the plaster is set, the cast with the relined impression it is placed on the wet plaster. Now as your plaster is setting, so what you do is now you're going to place this cast with your impression on this plaster platform such that the teeth it penetrates the plaster surface to a depth of 2 mm. So what does this do? So now this penetration it forms an index or the key of the teeth which allows the repositioning of the teeth. So now you are making that indentation of your teeth on that plaster. So this indentation it helps, like it forms a key or a index. So because of that it helps in the repositioning of the teeth on this plaster. Now once the plaster it sets properly, additional plaster is placed on the base of the cast and it is mounted on the upper member of the articulator. Now over here this is how it is done. So first over here, so this was your first step, and after that you're going to place your plaster on the upper member of your articulator. Now when the mounting it sets, the articulator it can be open and the denture with the impression it is separated from the cast. So after your like the plaster it is completely set, then you're going to rip. So after that you're going to open up your articulator and then you're going to separate the cast from the impression. Now for the relining, the required amount of tissue surface of the existing denture is trimmed away with the help of a burr. Now if rebasing is to be done, so the denture base, it should be trimmed to just leave 2 mm of the acrylic around the existing teeth. Now this is the difference between the relining and rebasing. So now in the first part, we have seen that the clinical procedures for relining and rebasing, they are the same. But the only difference that you'll see is in the laboratory procedures, that too a very minor differences. So the difference over here now you can see is in relining, only a required amount of the existing denture is trimmed, whereas in rebasing, what you do is you're going to trim everything away except you're just going to leave 2 mm of the acrylic around your teeth. So this is the difference between relining and rebasing. And then the denture base, it is waxed, flasked, and it is processed with the help of the heat cure denture base acrylic resin. Now what you have done is now you have reduced this area. So now this area, it is empty. So now then you do that flasking thing as you do in the conventional. So you fill this area, so that empty area, with your resin, heat cure denture base acrylic resin, and then you do the flasking method. So this is about the articulator method of your laboratory procedure that you're doing, the procedure, laboratory procedure with the help of this articulator. Now the next method is the flask method. Now again in this you're pouring your master cast, and then the cast, it provides the surface against which the denture, it is relined by invading it in the processing flask. So now over here this green one is your master cast, this yellow is your impression material, and this is your denture above it. So you're going to do such that your master cast, you're going to invade it in this flask. So this is your flask. Now this is how you do in your convention also, that you keep your master cast in your processing flask for the processing. So in this what you do is a silicone mold material, it is painted over the denture. Now this blue is your silicone putty which is painted over the denture, and the flask, it is warmed before opening it to remove the impression material. Then what you're going to do is you're like closing your flask, and then you're warming the flask, and so that your impression material, it is removed. Then the denture base, it is trimmed as required if it is relining or rebasing. So we have already seen the articulator method, that if it is relining, that then you're just going to reduce whatever is required. If it is rebasing, then you're going to reduce everything, and you're just going to keep 2 mm acrylic around your teeth, and then it is placed back into this mold. Now this mold, what it is doing, so it is creating this same structure. So when you're reducing your denture, now over here now you can see your impression material, it is completely removed, and then you're reducing your acrylic. So now over here this is like a picture which is created with the help of this mold. So it becomes easy to place your denture teeth again into this mold. So because of that, you do this silicone putty thing in this flask method of your relining and rebasing. And then the separating media, it is applied on the plaster and the stone, and it is heat polymerized denture based resin, it is packed into the mold. So this is basically the same thing that you do in your conventional one that you're applying. So this is the only additional thing that you do in this, that is you're adding this silicone putty so that you get this like template. So now over here now you can see, so this is acting like a template, like when your impression material, it is removed, and when you're reducing your denture, so you can like easily place your denture teeth properly in this mold. So this is the flask method of your relining and rebasing. So this is the same, and after that you're going to do the same procedure, that you're going to apply your separating media, then you're going to like fill this area with the help of your resin, and you're going to pack it properly, and then you're going to cure it, and then you're going to, whenever it like cools down, then you're going to open it. So this is the same thing that you do. Now moving on towards the last method of the laboratory procedure, that is the jig method. So now what is jig? So jig is nothing but it is a device which is used to maintain the mechanically correct positional relationship between a piece of work and a tool, or between the components during the assembly or the alteration. Now in this is the relining and rebasing. So in this now you're not going to take the vertical dimension or the jaw relation. So in this now you have to maintain your jaw relation properly, you have to maintain your occlusal plane, so you have to maintain the aesthetics and everything. So jig is basically a device which helps to maintain that everything. So here again the cast is poured, and then instead of an articulator, so the basic thing that you can remember is now you use an articulator. So instead of an articulator, what you can use is a jig. So a reline jig is used in this jig method. Now there are two types of jigs which can be used. So first is this Hooper's duplicator, or the next jig, it can be used as, which is known as a Jectron jig. So now what you're going to do in this is, so what is the basic difference between these two? Now in this Hooper's duplicator, so it is an instrument that has two triangular parts. So now over here now you can see this has a two triangular parts, and they're connected by the three pillars in each corner. whereas over here now you can see there are only two corners, so this is a basic difference. Now over here you have your two parts and they're connected with this three pillars, and in this there are only these two pillars, so this is the basic difference. Now in this what you're going to do is you're going to see the occlusal surface of the denture on the plaster which forms on the lower member of the relining jig. So over here now you're forming this platform as you do in the articulator, and then you're going to place your teeth on this, and then the plastic index is made similar to the articulator method, same as we have done, like you're making that indentation of the teeth that is 2 mm deep. As you like plaster it is setting, so you're going to place your cast with this impression. So again you're not going to separate the impression. So basically this jig is same as of your articulator, but the only difference is the device which is used is a jig. So in this, then the after the proper set, the top and the bottom members of the jig they are separated, then the denture is removed from the cast as we do in the articulator. Then all of the impression material is removed from the denture, and the denture it is trimmed according to the treatment. Now again we have seen that in the articulator, if you want to trim it, like if it is in the case of relining or if it is in the rebasing, then the trim dentures they are then set into the plaster key, and the denture it is waxed, processed and finished as usual. And after processing you're going to replace the cured denture, and then you're going to check the correct occlusion using the indentation which are made in this jig during the mounting of the denture. Now again as we do in the conventional, so after the processing, if your cast they're proper, so now again you like place your cast on that articulator and you just check the occlusion. So basically this is the same thing. Now there are this indentation which are made on your plaster, so this plaster it helps like when you're done with your processing, so when you're done with your making of the denture, so what you do is now you again going to mount it on this indentation, so just to check the occlusion. So this is the jig method of the laboratory procedure. So this is the picture for the relining and the rebasing. So this one is your relining and this one is your rebasing. So over here this is your denture which is acting as a custom tray, and then you do the border molding, then you take the final impression with the help of a zinc oxide eugenol. So this is your clinical procedure which is same for your relining and rebasing. Now over here, so you have poured a master cast, and this is the flasking procedure, that is your flasking method of your laboratory procedure in this case, and this is the reline denture. Now over here, this is again, now you have done this same clinical procedure. So after that, you are pouring this master cast, and over here, this is the articulator method which you are doing. So this is your indentation which you have made. Now over in that articulator, we have seen that we make the indentation on that plaster. So this is the indentation that are made, and then you're reducing it. Now over here, you can see. So this is a rebasing case. So in rebasing, you reduce all these. So what we have seen the definition is like we replace all the denture based material with a new material. So over here now you can see the occlusal, like the teeth and the occlusal plane is only maintained, whereas your denture based material is completely removed and just only 2 mm is remained. So again, so this is how it looks, and then you do the flasking and thing, and after this you make a new. So this is a rebased denture which you have made after the complete rebasing. So this is how it looks in the relining and the rebasing. So this was all about the different clinical and the laboratory procedures of the relining and rebasing. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did then please like, comment, share and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.